the Indian hospitality industry. And let me tell you, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here.
We're talking big trends, hotspots, the whole shebang. But first off, what's the overall picture looking like?
Well, right off the bat, the report paints a very positive picture. The industry is booming.
Okay, but how booming are we talking?
We're looking at a 10.8% year-on-year jump in RevPAR. That's revenue per available room.
10.8%. Wow, that's impressive. So hotels must be doing pretty well then.
They are. It's not just a little bounce back either. This is significant growth, and it's driven by a few different factors.
Okay, so break it down for me. What's fueling this boom?
Well, the report points to rising ADR.
ADR.
Average daily rate. Basically, hotels are able to charge more per room.
So it's just a matter of hotels jacking up prices.
Not necessarily. There's also a steady 2% quarter-on-quarter growth. That tells me something else is at play.
Like what?
My hunch is corporate travel. Corporate travel is back with a vengeance after that summer lull.
Ah, so it's not just vacationers driving this growth. It's business travelers too.
Exactly. People are finally getting back to those in-person meetings and conferences, and that's a big boost for the industry.
Okay, so we've got the big picture. Now let's zoom in a little. What's happening in different cities?
Well, the report highlights some interesting city-specific trends. For example, Hyderabad is the star performer.
Hyderabad, really? What's going on there?
They're seeing a whopping 23.6% year-on-year RevPAR growth.
23.6. Wow. That's phenomenal.
It is, and it's likely driven by a mix of factors.
Like what?
Well, Hyderabad has become a major tech hub, so you've got a lot of business travel, but they've also been investing heavily in tourism infrastructure and cultural attractions.
So they're attracting both business and leisure travelers.
Exactly. It's a winning combination.
It makes you wonder if this is a sign of things to come for other up-and-coming cities.
It could be. The report also highlights Chennai and Mumbai both are showing strong growth.
How strong are we talking?
Chennai is at 17.7% and Mumbai is at 16.8% year-on-year growth.
Okay, so those are pretty impressive numbers too.
They are. And it's not surprising given that these are established megacities. They've got the business centers, the tourism infrastructure, the whole package.
But hold on, I'm looking at the report here.
And
it says Delhi and Goa actually saw a dip in ADR.
that's right, a slight dip, but a dip nonetheless.
So is the party over for these popular spots?
I wouldn't say that. It's probably due to a few things.
Like what?
Well, seasonality is always a factor. Maybe demand dips during this time of year, and then there's the increasing competition. More hotels are opening up, even luxury ones, and that can put some downward pressure on prices.
So it's not necessarily a lack of demand, but maybe more options for travelers.
Exactly. It's a reminder that even within a booming industry, you've got to look at the specifics of each market.
And speaking of new additions, the report talks about a ton of new hotels opening up, right?
Oh, yeah. A whopping 30 branded hotels with almost 2,000 rooms launched in Q3 alone.
Whoa, that's a lot of new rooms. Where are they all going?
That's the interesting part. 80% of those new keys are popping up in Tier 2 and 3 cities.
Really? Not in the big metro areas?
Nope. Places like Tirupati, Ranchi, Mussoorie, they're becoming hotspots for hotel development.
So it's like a shift away from the traditional tourist destinations.
It is. Domestic tourism is exploding in India. And it's not just the usual suspects anymore. As the middle class grows, people are venturing beyond the typical tourist spots, and developers are taking notice.
So they're realizing there's a huge untapped market in these smaller cities.
Exactly. It's like a perfect storm, rising demand from domestic travelers and developers looking for the next big opportunity.
Fascinating. All right, so we've got this boom in new hotels, but what about the factors driving the overall growth in the first place? What's fueling this surge in demand?
Well, the report highlights a few key things. First, you've got the resurgence of corporate travel.
Ah, yes. Everyone's making up for lost time after the pandemic.
Exactly. And those Zoom meetings just aren't cutting it anymore. People want face-to-face interactions.
And it's not just for business either. Think about all the MIC events, meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions.
Right. Both corporate and social, everyone wants to be in the same room again.
Which is a big win for hotels.
Absolutely. And then, of course, you can't forget about the backbone of Indian tourism, domestic leisure travel.
It's always a reliable performer.
It is. Even when things are uncertain, globally, domestic travel in India remains strong.
It's like India has this superpower. A massive and diverse domestic market that's always hungry for travel experiences.
Exactly. And that's a major advantage for the industry.
The report also quotes Jaydeep Dang, Managing Director of Hotels and Hospitality Group at JLL. He seems pretty optimistic about the future, especially when it comes to investor interest.
He is. And it's not just blind optimism, it's backed by hard data. Investors are pouring money into the sector, both in new developments and existing assets.
So they're seeing the potential of the Indian hospitality market.
They are. There's a real sense that this is a winning bet right now.
So what do you think is making this sector so irresistible to investors? What are they seeing that's making them open up their wallets?
Well, it's a combination of things. The Indian economy is pretty strong, and you've got a growing middle class with more disposable income.
So more people have money to spend on travel and experiences.
Exactly. And that translates into higher demand for hotels, restaurants, all things hospitality.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But are we just talking about the big hotel chains here? Or are there new players entering the game?
It's not just the big names anymore. We're seeing a real diversification of investors, which is a sign of a maturing market.
So who are these new players?
You've got private equity firms, REITs, those are real estate investment trusts, and even individual investors are getting in on the action.
So the playing field is opening up. And with that, I imagine we're seeing some new investment strategies emerge.
Absolutely. One trend that's particularly interesting is the rise of asset-light strategies.
Asset-light strategies, what does that mean?
Basically, it means hotel companies are focusing more on managing and branding properties rather than owning them outright.
So they're partnering with real estate developers or investors who have the capital to build.
Exactly. And the hotel company brings in their expertise in running the show. So it's a win-win.
It's like a tag team, each side bringing their strengths to the table.
Right. Less risk for the hotel companies, and investors get to tap into established brands and management know-how.
Smart. But are investors just looking at the same old hotel types?
Yeah.
Or are they branching out?
There's definitely a growing interest in what we call niche segments.
Niche segments, like what?
Think boutique hotels with a unique personality, heritage properties that offer a glimpse into the past, and experiences that go beyond just a room and a bed.
So it's not just about luxury anymore. It's about offering something special, something with character.
Exactly. Travelers today, especially the younger generations, they're looking for an experience. They want something authentic, something memorable.
They want to feel like they're part of a story, not just another tourist checking in and out.
Right, and this plays into the shift we're seeing in guest expectations.
And I can't help but think technology is playing a huge role in all of this.
Absolutely. Technology is transforming every aspect of the guest journey.
In what ways?
Think seamless online booking, mobile check-in, personalized recommendations. It's all about convenience and tailoring the experience to individual needs.
So it's like having a personal concierge in your pocket.
Pretty much. But it raises an interesting question.
What's that?
With all this tech taking over, are hotels in danger of losing that human touch?
That's a good point. It's a delicate balance.
It is. The key is to use technology to enhance human interaction, not replace it.
So it's not about robots replacing front desk staff.
No, it's about giving those staff the tools to provide even better service.
Okay, I see. So it's like using technology to supercharge the human element, not eliminate it.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important factor that's shaping the industry: sustainability.
Sustainability, it's not just a buzzword anymore.
It's not. Travelers are increasingly conscious of the impact their trips have on the environment, and they're looking for hotels that share those values.
So what are hotels doing to meet this demand?
It's not just about putting a recycling bin in the room anymore. We're talking about a holistic approach.
Give me some examples.
Sourcing local and organic produce, reducing water and energy consumption, implementing waste management programs. It's about weaving sustainability into every aspect of the hotel's operations.
So it's about making it part of the hotel's DNA.
Exactly. And it's not just good for the planet, it's good for business too.
How so?
Well, for one, it attracts a growing segment of travelers who are willing to pay a premium for sustainable options.
So it's a win-win. Sustainable practices that benefit both the environment and the bottom line.
Right. And in a country as diverse and culturally rich as India, sustainability can be a huge selling point.
Because?
India has a long tradition of respecting nature and living in harmony with the environment. Weaving that into the hospitality experience can create something truly special for travelers.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. The booming growth, the new players, the changing expectations, and the push for sustainability. It's clear that the Indian hospitality industry is in the midst of a major transformation. But where do we go from here? What's next for this dynamic industry?
It's an exciting time to be in the industry, that's for sure.
It sounds like it. So what's the big picture here? What does all of this mean for the future of Indian hospitality?
Well, I think we're on the cusp of a truly transformative era. It's not just about adding more rooms or attracting more tourists. It's about redefining what the travel experience can be.
So not just evolution, but a revolution.
Exactly. And technology is going to be a major driver of that change.
Okay, so paint me a picture. What does this tech-powered future look like?
Imagine checking into a hotel and your preferences are already programmed in. The temperature is perfect, the lighting is just right, your favorite music is playing.
It's like the hotel knows me better than I know myself.
That's the idea. The hotel app knows your dietary restrictions and suggests restaurants nearby. It can even book you a table.
Whoa, hold on a sec. Is this just for luxury travelers? Or can technology enhance the experience for everyone?
It's for everyone. The goal is to create a seamless and intuitive experience for every guest, no matter their budget.
Okay, give me some examples.
Think AI-powered chatbots that can answer your questions 24/7, or smart room controls that let you adjust everything with a tap on your phone.
So it's like having a personal assistant at your fingertips.
Exactly. And it frees up hotel staff to focus on the things that technology can't replace,
Like what?
like providing genuine human interaction,
Yeah.
helping guests create those special memories. That's something a robot can never do.
I see. So it's not about humans versus robots. It's about humans and robots working together.
Right. It's about using technology to empower staff, not replace them.
Now, we can't talk about the future of hospitality without addressing the elephant in the room, sustainability. How can hotels go beyond the basics and truly embed sustainability into their operations?
It has to be a core value, not just a marketing tactic.
So what does that look like in practice?
Think solar panels on rooftops, rainwater harvesting systems, using locally sourced materials in construction.
So it's not just about what happens inside the hotel, but how the hotel interacts with the environment as a whole.
Right. And it's about supporting local communities, preserving cultural heritage, promoting responsible tourism practices.
So it's a much bigger picture than just reducing energy consumption.
Exactly. It's about creating a positive impact on the environment and the community.
This has been a fascinating conversation. It's clear that the Indian hospitality industry is on an incredible journey, one that's full of possibilities and challenges. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
I'd say embrace the changes, embrace the new experiences that technology and innovation offer, but never lose sight of the human element. That's what makes travel so special.
Couldn't agree more. Well, it seems like the Indian hospitality industry is writing a new chapter, one that's filled with opportunities and driven by a desire to create truly exceptional guest experiences. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of Indian hospitality.
It's been a pleasure.
And to our listeners, we hope you found this insightful. Until next time, keep exploring,